the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. My name is Tanika,
And I'm Ava.
and today we're going to be talking about Selling Sunset. But before we get into all of that, we have a segment we would like to call Hot Goss.
Hot goss.
Hot Goss.
You know.
Stuff that is going on in the world of reality TV that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So, first thing is first. I'm sure a lot of us already know that there was pictures and rumors that came out that said that Chriselle and G Flip got married. Hold on, maybe not. Apparently, they didn't actually get married. That they will get married officially in the future? Question mark?
I'm confused.
My question is, if you're going to go through all of that, like, why not actually legally get married?
Yeah. I didn't get that because the headlines insinuated that they got married.
Yeah.
And then when you read further, you're like, what? So did you or did you not?
I mean, listen, if it's I don't know what the motivation was. Like, it looks like they got married in Vegas. You can get a marriage.
Does it not count when you're married in Vegas?
Yeah, so they're just get a marriage certificate. They're just get a marriage certificate and have an officiant sign it and all of that nonsense. And it doesn't cost that much money. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's very weird. But yeah, there's that. Another hot goss number 2. Even though we did not cover the other way on 90 Day Fiancé, we were watching with everybody else.
Right.
And the rumor is Mahmoud has touched down in Las Vegas. Oh, sorry, Los Angeles, not Las Vegas, Los Angeles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there is pictures here. I'll see if I can show you, Ava, and it probably is not going to come up because it's like, no.
Yeah, it's blank.
But it's basically a picture with Mahmoud and what's her name? I can't remember her name.
I don't know.
I can't remember her name.
Tinkerbell?
Whatever. I can't remember her name right now. It's literally not coming to me.
Me either. Oh my God, this is so bad. Nicole.
This is so bad because it's literally on my picture here that I screenshot. But there's a picture of Mahmoud and Nicole in LAX, and she has a sign waiting for him that says, "Welcome home, Mahmoud. My love. Wow. My love." Wow. You have to add that. You have to add that.
Yeah. They're so annoying with that. Oh my God. My love. Oh, honey. Oh my God.
And we all know, even though it has obviously been confirmed, but we all know they're going to be on another season. Yeah. Probably not 90 Day OG because they're already married, but they're going to be on HEA, which is going to make things so much worse. Anyways, so the next hot goss number 3 is this more drama between Jamie and Chris.
Oh gosh. So I have so much to say about. I really wish we covered the season.
I wish we did too.
Because they're a hot mess. Hot freaking mess.
The one thing that I will say is Chris, number 1, I don't care what was happening around you. It does not give you the right to push your partner.
Exactly.
I don't care what she did or did. She didn't do anything. But anyways.
Don't put your hands on people. That's like rule number 1.
Yeah. So there was rumors going around, which I'm sure a lot of us already know. There was rumors going around that apparently producers told the cast to go easy on Chris because she's in a fragile emotional state or something around those lines. No. So this was at the tell-all. So everyone has kind of come out and said that. Debbie has come out and said that and said, we're supposed to go easy on her, fragile emotional state, whatever. And Jamie was commenting on this and saying, like, I hope they don't go easier on her and whatever. But someone, I don't know if it was Jamie or not, but oh, yes, there is an OG cast member, and I can't remember who it is now, but there is an OG cast member that says, and I quote, I know for a fact at Tell All, the producers do tell cast what to do, and yes, they instigate trouble.
Oh, wow.
Well,
okay.
Great. Like, that's just great to know. But I thought that was very interesting that, that's
So
what happened.
we're admitting to that now. Okay.
We're admitting to this now. And I mean, it's not like we're surprised by that, but we are admitting to something.
Wow.
And the another thing that I did find out, probably the last thing that I found out was, now I don't know, Ava, if you're actually watching Love in Paradise, but for those who are watching Love in Paradise, um, if you know Juan and Jessica, we've found out on the show that Jessica was pregnant. They had their baby.
Oh, wow.
Their baby.
With the quickness.
He was born on May 24th.
A Gemini, yes, give it up. Woo!
I'm a Taurus, guys.
I'm a Gemini, guys. My birthday was yesterday, May 31st. Thanks for asking.
So the baby, and I'm probably going to just butcher the heck out of the name, but I'll leave the last name out, but the baby's name is David Vincent Daza. Born at 1:51 p.m., weighing 6 pounds and 3 ounces. Congrats to the baby. I hope her children are now on board with the baby. Wow. And from what I understand, Juan was not actually at the birth physically. He was zoomed in.
On his job cruise, boat cruise?
I don't know if he's on a boat cruise or what. I mean, she has said no more boat cruises.
I mean, when the show aired, I mean, it's still on air, but when it aired, she was what, like 3 months pregnant?
I believe 2 months.
Oh, 2 months. That's
2 months. Yeah, 2 months pregnant.
Wow. Okay.
So, I mean, congratulations.
Yeah,
I hope.
Big congrats. Do you think they're gonna make it? Do you think?
I mean, I don't think they have any problems per se, but I do worry about Juan being, left in cow shit, Wyoming. So I do worry about that. So, anyways, the reason we are here, Selling Sunset, season 6, episode 4, Between You and Bre, is the name of the episode. So, let's get into it. So, we're with Bre and Heather at a listing, whoever's listing, doesn't matter. Now we're kind of seeing that there was probably a misunderstanding when it comes to the situation with Emma and this client. They're now kind of saying, oh, this doesn't sound like Emma, and maybe the client I think the client was trying to start problems. That's what I think. But
it's like, why? Like, what's the motive? You're a billionaire. Mind your billionaire business. What are you getting? What are you getting involved in? What is this?
Unless
even that doesn't make sense to me. I really think that Emma said something really casual, and I think he misspoke.
That, or it goes back to what I said before of maybe this was producer driven.
Right.
So,
right.
I think it could definitely be that. So there's not much else to really talk about with that conversation. Unless there's anything else that you can remember from that conversation.
Not really. I mean, it was pretty much laid to rest with that conversation.
Okay.
I think Heather just validated that Emma's basically a good person and she probably didn't mean anything by it. Yeah. And it's not that big of a deal. I think, Bre seems to accept that. And that was pretty much it. Yeah. Nothing much there.
Okay. So then we're with Chelsea and Emma, and they're having drinks. And I write down Chelsea cannot say the word accusatory.
Accusatory.
What
The
the
whole
hell was she
time
saying?
I was screaming at the screen. Like, wow. And then
Are,
she turns to the waiter and asks him, and he's just like, accusatory. And I was just like,
I mean,
what was the real struggle here, ma'am?
like, I'm sorry. If you're going to be a professional person and any, you should know how to say accusatory. But anyways,
Wow.
so Emma feels that Bre is aggressive.
Right.
I think as women, we all have to stay away from the word aggressive
Right. Right.
because why does a woman have to be aggressive? Why can't we be opinionated?
Right.
Why can't we have, stand on our own 2 feet and say how we feel without people of all genders saying, well, you're aggressive. Like, why? Why?
Right.
It's not
Right.
necessary.
And if we were to just insert race into that just for a second, Black women are typically associated with that phrase as
Yeah.
being aggressive. So when Emma said that to a Black woman,
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe she would just kind of like, but she's not Bree's biggest fan either. So I guess it makes
No.
sense that she didn't,
Yeah.
say, well, maybe not aggressive, but she was kind of whatever. So, I'm curious to see on a deeper level if Chelsea would have any feelings towards that word being used, because again, typically Black women are always called aggressive. If we have the tiniest bit of opinions, that's how it's perceived and taken and received
Exactly.
by others. So, you know,
Exactly.
as much as we can, we should be careful when we use that word, because it does, it could trigger some people. Just saying.
And, and I mean, she is saying this about another Caucasian woman because Bre
Right.
is Italian, but
Right.
at the same time, it's just like, I don't like that. There, if you don't like what she is saying, that is one thing,
Right.
or maybe even how she is approaching it. But there is other ways to describe how she is approaching it, and aggressive
Right.
just isn't it.
Right. Just confrontational is fine,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because she
Uh,
was. She was.
yeah. So then this is when we find out that Chelsea clearly did know about these two women that she brought to this broker's open, um, and had the connection with these women and Bre, because she does talk about the fact that they were from the modeling agency. And then she makes the comment about how, like, well, she probably didn't even rock the runway or something like that. And I'm like, honey, stay in your lane, because that is not
Right.
what model agencies typically do. There is more to being a model than just walking the runway.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just,
But again, she wouldn't know, right? Like she's just talking shit, talk shit. So
well, at the end of the day, yes, I'm not surprised that she doesn't know, because this is a woman who does not know how to say accusatory. So, so
shots fired.
exactly. Um, so next we're with Mary and Amanza, and they're walking their dogs. And this is when we find out that Amanza, I'm going to screw her name up, sorry. Amanza's dad passed away,
Right.
and she's clearly taking that very hard.
Right. Not her
Um,
bio dad though, right?
it was, yes, it was her
It's a
stepdad.
father figure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A strong
I think
father
it.
figure in her
I
life.
think it was her stepfather, although her mom wasn't with him anymore. But I think it was a stepfather.
Right.
And then we also find out that she is also dealing with a health scare. We don't know what that health scare is.
Yet.
I don't think
Yeah.
we do find out. Yeah, but you can kind of start to kind of feel, okay, whatever it is scary. It is bad, and I feel for her. So we're now at Heather's birthday. Yay. And I write down mock cock. because instead of saying mocktail, like how it's usually said, we somehow have to take it back to a sexual thing and say mock cock.
Right, because Heather's mom, it was said by Heather's mom actually, and she shared that
Right.
with the group that her mom referred to the cocktail as
Mocktail as a
mocktail
mock
as a
cock.
mock cock. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And then we're talking about dick sucking. Who
Oh
knew?
yes.
I'm sorry, Heather. I don't need to know whether or not you're sucking your husband's dick. I really don't. I
Yeah.
mean, it
That
all
was very that was a moment because I was like, wait, what are we what's happening?
all power to you because at the end of the day, I, I'm 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 an avid listener of podcasts. I do listen to podcasts around reality TV as well. And one of my favorite podcasts is Reality Gaze, who I love. And their motto is God doesn't care if you suck a dick. That's fine. I don't either. I just don't. I just think under the circumstances, there's more things we could be talking about in the moment than whether or not, you know. But
Right. Good
anyways,
for your husband though.
oh yeah, he's happy. He's real happy.
Right.
So yeah, so now Bre is apologizing to both Chelsea and Emma. Emma accepts Chelsea's,
Right.
sorry, accepts, which I'm not surprised by. Emma's a sweetheart.
Yeah. I mean, and I can appreciate that. And she
Yeah,
did show her gratitude for that,
yeah,
she did apologize because that's big to take a step
yeah.
back and like say, okay,
I
I
screwed
came
up.
in
Yeah,
hot,
yeah,
I messed
yeah,
up. Maybe I shouldn't have taken that approach with you because I talked to Heather or whatever that happened that changed your mind. It's big of anybody to take accountability and to apologize at the
yeah,
end of the day. If you genuinely feel that you came in hot and it wasn't warranted, like you didn't have to go that route. But
yeah. Chelsea,
did you see Chelsea's reaction
Chelsea
to
does not.
now you're backpedaling, now you're taking a step back. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking a step back and taking accountability and apologizing?
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
wrong with saying I made a mistake and I'm sorry? And she did it in front of the group, by the way. So
Yeah,
that's even big because one, this happened in private. She pulled Emma aside in private and spoke to her, confronted her about the situation with her client. But then publicly, she's apologizing to her in a group setting.
exactly.
So, like,
What's
come
the
on. Like,
problem?
what's the issue?
Uh,
She
we'll
just
get
really doesn't want to like this girl.
we'll
That's what
get
it
to
comes down to.
what Chelsea's issue is at a
Yeah.
later point, but yeah, but Chelsea does think that Mary should have stepped in on the fight between Nicole and Chriselle. I don't know how we got here, but we got here. I guess after this apology with Bre, Chelsea does, you know, say that she should have come in and dealt with the situation, which I agree with. I
Right.
do agree that Mary should have stepped in because, as Chelsea says, that's embarrassing. This was my broker's open, and you are letting this fight happen. Yes, outside, but it still can be heard. And you just sit there and be like, well, I don't know what's happening out there. When literally Mary told Nicole to talk to Chriselle at
Right.
Chelsea's broker open. Like
Right.
I
Yeah. I
I
think they
really
would have had that conversation at one point, but not at the friggin' Brokers Open. Like,
no.
she made that happen, and that was uncalled for. And that
I
was a
mean,
shitty call on her part.
I don't even know if it really technically would have happened if Mary didn't say anything because Nicole didn't want to talk to Chriselle, which is also very telling. So
Uh,
it's I mean, at the end of the day, Nicole did what she did, but and maybe she didn't foresee it going that way. But at the same time, you delusional woman, how do you not know that something is gonna maybe not go your way? Because
exactly.
like your reasonings for being upset with Rochelle just makes no sense to anybody.
Again, she has no awareness. Mary has no awareness of like
No,
anything. And she just I get you want to take a seat back and you don't want to be involved in stuff because you got your own life. Everybody got their own life, girl. Everybody got things going on. So if that's your excuse for not dealing with live issues as they're happening right in front of you and you're in a managerial position, then you're in the wrong field. You need to pack it up or demote yourself.
Yeah,
And if
I
you
would say demote is
right
a good way to
or
go.
so we're not trying to get her off the show. We're not trying to get her pack it up
I
and
don't
just
think Mary is
exit.
going anywhere. I just
Oh
because
my
to some
god.
extent Mary is compelling because here we are talking about her. She's
Exactly.
not
I
going
still
anywhere.
like her.
No, I
I
do
do
like
like
her.
her. And I think she's a good enough person. She seems decent.
Yeah, she's yeah.
But yeah, like, I do like her on the show. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so then we're with Mary and Nicole, and we see that Chriselle apparently posted to Instagram about something. I can't remember what. And she also texted Nicole the next day and saying, like, where are the receipts of this, the reasons that you're upset with me? And obviously, there are no receipts because the reasons for being upset with you, Chriselle, is a waste of everybody's time and effort.
Right.
I wouldn't even go to her and say anything. I would have left it alone personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't approach her because she's crazy. She's
Yeah.
clearly crazy.
Yeah.
Then you're
And
not gonna get what you want. Like she's not gonna be like, okay, I made this all up. I just, like she's not gonna admit and own up to anything. Like, what are you
yeah.
actually gonna get other than more evading the question, spinning it and
Yeah.
pointing you in a different direction that it's not a fruitful conversation. So I don't think that Chriselle should have approached her. And if you do
Yeah.
approach her, you make sure there are several eyes and ears around because this girl, she is one to
And
watch.
I realized I actually set this wrong because that's also my notes to what I was watching. It was that Chriselle posted to Instagram and she texted Nicole the next day. And then it was me saying, so where are the receipts of these messages? Because Mary, I think, was saying, oh, show me the messages or whatever the case may be, like what's happening here. And you can clearly tell that Mary is not falling for it.
Right.
I think like Mary and Nicole are friends, but I think at the same time, Mary knows that Nicole is absolutely full of shit.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where you're kind of seeing things go. And even when things really blow up,
Right. And
you
that's
can
why I guess
still,
Mary was so dismissive of it all. She's just like, girl,
enough's enough.
I got an appointment. I gotta go. So
Exactly.
unless you're gonna show me these receipts, I'm out of here.
Yeah. So the next scene, we find out because in the group we're at the brokerage and we find out that a few of the girls went out to a party, at night or whatever. Um, and Chelsea is now spilling the beans about an after party that Bre and Chriselle were also at. And at the after party, Bre finds out about baby number 300 from Nick Cannon.
Wow.
And that Chelsea is kind of saying that it was really clear that Bre was really upset by this, that she did not know about any of this. And here Chelsea is telling everybody who wasn't there what's happening. So you can
Right.
kind of tell now that Chelsea is passing some judgment on Bre. Kind of see things starting to form a little bit. And but at the same time, and I've said this before, talking about the kids and the kids are going to suffer from this, I do agree with Chelsea on that front. And but at the same time, it's something like this that affects someone else's family. Chelsea, it's not up to you to be telling everybody what you saw. Leave that to Bre if she so chooses to go there.
Exactly. Like, who are you to divulge that? What if she was having a vulnerable moment with you and she needed a shoulder or a confidant or just an ear? And
Yeah.
instead of being her friend or just a decent person in that moment, you decided to soak it all up and run and tell the group of girls that she works with her business and put her on blast.
And even if, let's pretend for a second, the other side of things. and I'm coming from experience on this. Even if she knew that Nick had this baby coming, it is still devastating to hear whether you are in love with this person, whether you're in a monogamous relationship with a person or not, doesn't matter. It can still rock your world when you find out that the person that you're with is having a child with somebody else, whether
Exactly.
she expects it or she does not.
And I
It
think
is,
that's what Chelsea wanted to show is that,
yeah,
bitch, you don't know everything. You're not in that relationship that you think you are.
yeah.
It's clearly one-sided. Chelsea's trying to out her and make it known that this girl doesn't know the fuck about anything.
But when it comes to someone's family, Chelsea, it's not up to you.
Right. Exactly.
So if Bre wants to live in La La Land with Nick Cannon being her husband or whatever the hell, then
Right.
let her. She is not hurting anybody.
Right.
So what is your motivation for going into this?
Just to out her and to make
Just
her seem like,
yeah.
like she's making poor life decisions, and it's, I don't know. She
I
just
don't know.
really wanted to get at her because remember, Bree did express that they are together, they wake up together, they go to bed together,
No,
whatever.
you
And
don't.
she tried to call her out right away.
No,
And then
but
now this is more proof that you clearly don't go to bed
you
with this
don't.
man every night. You
No.
don't wake up to him because why? Oh, baby number 5
9 months ago,
on the
he was in
way.
someone else's bed.
Exactly.
So
Right.
at the very least. So
Right. So that's what she's trying to show is that no, nobody's buying this story that you're selling. And here's why. And I'm going to let everybody know. So Chelsea has a motive and it's coming forth now.
yeah. Okay, so that is the end of that episode. So now we're going into episode 5 called Mismanagement. Uh-oh.
Right. I wonder who that could be about.
Uh-oh, Mary, we're coming for you. Because we haven't already.
Right.
So we start off the episode with Chriselle, Amanda, and Heather, and we're at Chriselle's listing. And we're talking about the differences of family life. And we talk about, now help me here, because I wrote down master manipulator. And this is Amanda who says maybe master ejaculator.
Yeah. They're
Who are we
talking
talking
about
about?
Nick Cannon.
Obviously. How did I
Yeah.
miss that?
Yeah. That was a good line from Amanda. That was good.
I mean,
That was
really,
good.
truly, let's be real here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Spot on.
clearly, he is definitely getting it right on the dot.
Right.
But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Would you agree? Is Nick Cannon a master manipulator?
Master manipulator? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would call him that because then what does that make the women, that agree with it and go along with it? Or do they not know the full parameters of this agreement? I
Here's what I'll
or would that
say.
even matter? Would that even matter? And he's just really like, recruiting? Because, we
Ugh,
watch a lot of shit. We watch a
I
lot
hate that.
of recruiting.
I hate that because that's what I was about to get into
Well,
is,
it's not like he's asking them on top of everything to recruit others,
oh
because
God,
then that would be a little fucked up and a little shisty. But
can we say Nexium, anybody?
but I mean, I watch a lot of stuff. I watch that Our Father thing.
Oh my
Remember
God.
that? And then I
Yeah.
watched this other one with this guy. I think he was in Korea or whatever, and he's like a religious leader. He formed this religious group.
I know who you're talking about.
Right. And he sexed
Yeah.
down everybody,
Yeah.
right? To get
Hmm.
closer to God, or he was God or whatever. So like I'm I'm like grossed out and freaked out. So when you're asking me stuff like this, I'm thinking of Nick Cannon in those ways. Like, do I get that vibe?
I'm thinking cult leader. Yeah.
Right. Is he really, that's his underlying motive? I don't know. I mean, I guess in a few years we'll know what's really going on.
I mean, that's exactly it. For someone to come out and actually say master manipulator, we're starting to go into a universe of could he be like the Rhaenyras of the world? Or, like we're starting to get into that. And do I think that Nick Cannon is as smart as that? No. But what I will say
Well,
is
we're not going to underestimate him because you never
but
know.
that's not what I'm getting to.
Right.
And we're sorry, we're going to get a little darker here because we're talking about a little true crime stuff here now. But
Right.
if that is the route we're going, then I get this R. Kelly feel to him, not that aspect of things, but in the aspect of things of someone like this has to have an entourage, has to have people who are doing their biddings and stuff like that. You have to have something like that. Now, I'm not saying that Canon is doing that, but I'm saying if we're going to use those terms, that's what we're getting into. This is a lot darker than what Nick Cannon wants us to think.
Right.
And do I get master manipulator vibes from him? No. But again, we're seeing a facade of Nick Cannon that maybe these women are seeing a different side of him that we just don't see.
Right.
So there is that aspect of it as well. But I don't think he's a master manipulator. I think he is a narcissist and thinks that his shit don't stink.
Right. And a master ejaculator.
And a master ejaculator. My God.
I love that so much.
That was a great line.
That was so good. But yeah, we had to go there because, we and besides, we're lacking a lot of information, right? We don't know his agreement with all these women. We don't know. It could be different. It could be, the same for all of them. Who knows, right?
Exactly.
So it's hard to really say right now with limited information. They don't speak of it much openly. Nick Cannon doesn't really. People make comments right to his face. They joke, they laugh at him, and he takes it on the chin and he kind of brushes it off and redirect and, evade certain things. So I don't know. It's hard to say. We don't have enough information right now for us to call him a manipulator. Definitely a master ejaculator for sure. That's verifiable. Okay, that we know for certain.
Is definitely verifiable. Okay. So now we're with Chelsea and Jeff, who is her husband,
right,
at dinner. And so you see
has he made an appearance before in previous seasons? I feel like he's brand new. I haven't seen him.
I think very briefly because Jason, I think, knows her husband. So I think it's very brief that we saw him like once last season. So you have like this waiter coming in and handing out this appetizer of the day or something. I don't know. I don't eat at fancy restaurants.
Right.
And I think they refer to it as like a cigar or something like that you have to just like they light it up or whatever.
And there's like caviar on the ends of it. I think. Yeah.
So I'm like, so basically it's just an egg roll.
An overpriced egg roll at that.
An overpriced egg roll.
Right. But what do we know? Just saying what it really looks like.
We don't eat like that.
Right.
So then she's talking about Nicole's etiquette at her broker's open and probably talking about the fact that Mary just stepped in and did something about it. There's a lot more of the same thing.
Right. Her husband's just asking her basically, did you confront them? Did you ask? That kind of stuff. So nothing really there other than expensive eats.
Yeah. So on to the next scene. We're with Roman. That's his name, right? Roman, whatever. We're with Mary's husband and Mary. at this penthouse that he is helping Jason with. And I don't think we've mentioned previously that Jason has officially left for somewhere in Europe with Skip Smaloo.
Right.
And
Skipping across the nation.
apparently, Jason wants this penthouse done in 3 weeks. Sir, nothing has been done.
Right. How do
How
you expect that when you are there in person, nothing's happening, but when you leave for 3 weeks, you want to come back and magically a lot needs to be done. They need to be wrapping it up. How? In what world?
and the thing too on top of that is like, here's the thing. I do understand from Jason's perspective that every minute the interest on the loan is increasing. I understand that. But
Yeah.
sir, nothing has you, this place doesn't have walls. Like, so then we find out that apparently now the windows might have to be changed if you can't do this other thing that maybe can be done with the windows that would make it approved by HOH, which could then mean more time, and not only more time, but $250,000 to replace
Yeah.
these windows.
And remember, he's already invested so much money into this. How much did he say? 10 million?
A lot.
I feel like he said he invested already 10 million. He's yeah.
He
He's
is
gonna
so in the
be
hole.
digging himself in a hole. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Oh my goodness. Um, okay, so obviously Mary's gonna be freaking out about that and stressing because
Right.
okay,
And
I'm taking on so much more.
she's kind of in a difficult position too, right? Because you're working alongside your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say she's delegating or anything, but she needs answers because she has to respond to her boss. Like she's going to be held accountable for everything that he missed in his absence. So she's going to have to show that she did her due diligence and she was on top of things and she knew exactly what was going on, or, she tried to mitigate or whatever, she has to
Yeah,
show something that she was actively doing something.
exactly.
But this your man's. So it's she's kind of in like this weird position, right? Because she was, like if I'm going in, I'm working alongside my man. I'm not babying you. You need to know that whatever's going on here is fucked up. Like she was talking about the wood on the
Mm-hmm.
floor, like the sun bleached the wood. How did you, in a position, sir, Mister Mary, how did you not foresee that happening with those big ass windows as a professional? How did you not foresee that happening? So
You should
like
be covering those windows.
exactly. Like I feel like that was a fuck up on his part and whoever else is in charge there, the contractors, all of them. Like how did you not know that? Like I would be pissed if that happened and you're trusting your place with these professionals who should have known
You
that
should have
that's
known better.
a possibility, that this type of wood would be bleached by the hot beaming sun coming through the glass window. Like, I'm sorry. I'd be pissed. I'm just saying. I don't know much about nothing, but this much I know. I'm just saying I would be livid. If I've
I'd be
already
pissed.
invested so much money and it's gone to shits because of something like this. But
That could have been avoided for sure.
exactly. But what do I know? Anyway.
So then we're with Nicole and Chelsea, and they're having coffee. And then here we go again. Here comes the conversation about
Right.
Rochelle.
But let's back up a little bit. Did you see what Chelsea was wearing?
I can't remember.
She was wearing some bullshit from the runway and she didn't
Oh,
fucking think it through because the
oh,
bitch
she
couldn't
couldn't
sit
sit.
down.
She couldn't
That
sit.
was my initial thought. When I saw her, I was like, bitch, you're not gonna be able to sit. Let's just watch this. And she's like slanting her body back in a fucking like you need to be sitting in a recliner at this point. You need to be lying down because ain't no way you're gonna sit in that get up.
And
Like
then
it's
they
ridiculous.
and then like they basically justify this whole situation by saying, well, some outfits are standing up outfits only. And I'm like, no.
Right. I mean, girl, you're on thin ice. First you wore the fucking turtle shell. Turtle. And then now you're in this shit. Like, come on. You want to be fashionable so bad, like they all do. But I mean,
They
at
all
least
do.
make it functional. Like you need to be able to go take a shit. You need to be able to, sit. Just the basics. Like what? I'm not wearing any outfit that's gonna restrict me sitting my ass down. Like
Exactly.
it's not happening. But anyways,
Lord.
I digress. Rich people problems. We know nothing about this.
Nothing. Nothing. So obviously Chelsea's going to take this opportunity to confront Nicole about what happened, saying that it was uncalled for. Um, and and I guess she brings up to Nicole, like, why wasn't Mary involved in this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And as we can remember, we didn't really touch on this, but when Mary was at Nicole's house and talking about the situation, Mary literally says, I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like she literally does say that. So Nicole does mention Mary didn't want to have the conversation. She
Yeah.
didn't want to be a part of
She
it.
was very dismissive in that moment. So
Very.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so Chelsea, says like, you know, shouldn't the manager be handling conflicts between
Right.
employees?
Right.
Yes,
Absolutely.
she definitely should be. So apparently now Bre and Emma are going to be having this little competition about this $83 million home and see who can sell it first. Um,
That's none of our business.
none of our business.
I'm just like, okay, and
So yeah, they start talking about Bre having a house that they're going to be leasing for $50,000 instead of buying or selling it or whatever, which seems like a good idea. It's not horrible. And then for some reason, Mary's like, well, why would you try to sell the house? Why are you going to lease it for? Like having that kind of attitude. And I'm just like, if Bre has something that's working out that can then maybe then turn into something later, why
right,
wouldn't you do that? And at the
right,
end of the day, the only person this is truly really affecting is Bre. Sure, on a whole, it can affect the brokerage, but you deal with the cards that are dealt, and this is what's been dealt to her.
right.
And then Chelsea decides to confront Mary about Nicole and Chriselle's fight. And again, Mary did not want to be a part of it. You can kind of tell that she's trying to act like nothing happened and I don't want to deal with it and blah, blah, blah. But again, you're the manager. This is your job. You have to deal with conflicts when Jason and or Brett aren't there. And
Right.
this is exactly what Mary gets into is the fact that she does not want to deal with this. Let's wait until Jason comes back.
As if he's gonna be any better at this.
No. And the thing is like you have been entrusted to be the manager by not just Jason but Brett as well. And you're deciding that I don't want to deal with this. I'm taking a back seat. Guess what? You're not just their friend. You are their manager during 9 to 5 or however long you guys work for. So this is your
Right.
job to deal with conflicts between your employees. I and again I just go to the fact that I don't think Brett and Jason thought this all the way through.
Absolutely.
And I just don't understand why Mary continuously defaults to Jason. Like he's her safety blanket. It's actually sad
Yeah.
that you should be able to deal with things that are being handed to you
Right.
when they
And
come.
I mean, and she's in that role where this is actually her wheelhouse. This is her thing. This is her like her scope of duties. You know what I mean? For a
Yeah.
manager to deal with this type of stuff. So it doesn't really involve Jason. Jason's at a higher level, let's say, and she's management. So this is her problem. You don't just go escalate it up the ladder. You should be able to put this to bed. This is not something that requires Jason's attention. This is small fish, okay?
This is
get
like
everybody in line and get it together.
This is like if I have a problem, and I'm not going to name names here, but obviously you probably will know who I'm talking about. This is like me going to our managing partner and saying, I'm having a problem with this person. No, I have a manager that I go
Right.
to and I say, I'm having this problem with this person. Can we address this?
Yeah.
Why would I need to go to my managing partner and give him this information that is ridiculously stupid
Right.
when I can deal with something like this with my manager? That is what she has been entrusted to deal with. That is
Exactly.
her job.
Exactly.
And my
I
managing
guess
partner
because
has his job.
I guess it's because they don't have that typical business structure, company structure. They operate like a family. Oh, it's family. So I guess that's why she feels the need that, oh, I could just go to Jason and whatever. So it's not, I can see why she would also want to involve him because, that's not only her friend, but that's her ex, that's her, it's like they don't view it as I'm going up the ladder. It's just
Yeah,
literally, no, let's get Jason, my friend, involved. And so for them,
exactly.
it's a little bit different, but they should have something better in place where everybody's not so, you know, it's not a family oriented business. Like, let's throw that whole thing away, you
But you
know?
can still have that structure of a business. Like that's kind of how it is at my work. We have that feel as well, but we
Right.
still have a structured company.
Exactly. You know who to go to
So,
for what, and you know that it
exactly.
will be handled accordingly. They don't have anything like that in place.
No.
It's literally like, let's figure it out as we go and get everybody involved. And it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of that episode. Any other
Right.
thoughts that we have before we close this out?
No, not really. But if you thought it was spicy, it was getting spicy. It gets even spicier.
It definitely
So
does.
yeah, if you haven't caught up to all the episodes, you'll have our hot take on everything in due time because we still got plenty thoughts left. So yeah, definitely stay tuned.
Okay, so with that said, please rate and subscribe to our podcast. Again, we're on everything. You can rate on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if that's your favorite podcast app. Again, please share with your friends, your fam, your
Mm-hmm.
significant other, whoever it is, share with everybody. And you can also visit us on our socials. We currently have Facebook and Instagram, a reality tea times two. And if you want to email us, you can definitely email us. All the links to the socials, email, just all the information you want in order to contact us and get in contact with us will be in the show notes of this episode.
Yeah.
So thank you again, everybody.
Yes, thank you all so much for listening. And there's more to come. So we'll see you in
Stay
another one.
tuned.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.